Have you ever had one of those days where if it could go wrong, it did go wrong? And then you're left in a panic and then you have to do something completely different and you've only got a couple of hours to do it in? To replace a week's worth of work. Yeah. That's where this soup was born. It's called Panic Soup. And an hour ago, when I put this video out, it didn't exist. So let's get into it. And yeah, see what happens. So, I've been working for the last week on a video for this wonderful collaboration of Cozy Falls soups that's been going all month. And it's been put out by Gail Southern Living and Heather over at Milk and Honey Homestead Farmz. And they invited me to be part of it. So I thought I'd do something really good. Yeah, and then I lost the footage because I hit the wrong button at the wrong moment. So now I was in the predicament of I'll go and make a whole new soup. So Panic Soup was born, and here we find ourselves chopping up and finding random things that we could put together and make a really good soup. So I started off with these potatoes that we bought that were reduced on the weekend. They're not great, as you can see. Some of them are a little bit I had to chop a few bits off, but that's okay. That's okay. And I have to admit, I actually really enjoyed making this soup. It's a really nice soup. And it, like I said, you know, it's born out of a necessity and a need. And I think most really good dishes really, really are. So I'm just chunk chopping these potatoes, and if there's a bad bit, I'm going to get rid of it. Don't worry about that. Let's go in. It ain't staying. Ew, we're not that desperate. I mean, leave it out. So while I have got your attention and I'm chopping these potatoes because, you know, I've got a few to go yet, I just wanted to let you know that there's going to be a giveaway on December the 2nd at 5 PM Central Standard Time. That's one of those American times. I've got no idea what it is, so you guys look it up and you'll be able to find out. But go and check it out over on Gail Southern Living, because I'm pretty sure it's being streamed live over there and possibly on Heather's channel as well. But all the links are going to be down in the description. And can I just say, go and watch the other channels. They're great. They have amazing things on their channels. And you know, just go find your new favourite channel. I mean, come back here of course, but you know, go find another one as well. That's a lot of potatoes. I'm doing it slow, so I've decided to speed myself up because quite frankly, even I was getting bored watching myself cut potatoes. So you must be. Next I got a leek. We bought this a couple of weeks ago. It's been sitting in the fridge ever since, doing nothing. Sitting there going, excuse me, are you going to use me? Oh no, it's the bacon again. Alright, okay. I know where I'm placed. But, you know, soups. Okay, so there's some general ingredients that work really well together when it comes to soups. And any food, really. Potato and leek are a classic. They really, really are a classic. Now, am I only doing potato and leek? No, I am not. And you'll see. But we, you know, just half your leek. If you've already washed it, that's cool. You can wash it again if you want to. This one's relatively clean. I don't need to, well, it is very clean. I don't need to worry about washing it. There's no sand in it. I did check as I was doing it, and you can hear your knife grate on the leeks if there is, you know, sand in there. So yeah, I had some leftover peeled onions, so I decided that I was gonna chop those up. These are actually left over from the soup that I made yesterday and what passed all day and then lost the footage. Okay, so next I'm using a little rapeseed oil. You can use butter if you want, if you've got it. We don't have any at the moment. This is the best I've got. It's going in the pot. I really don't care. It's what we have. I'm going to use what we've got. So we can saute off the veg a little bit and let it do its thing while we're preparing the rest of the veg. Oh yeah, that's my slow cooker, just so you know. Or my multi-cooker, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so next is bacon. You don't have to use the bacon if you don't want to, but we had some. This has been floating around the fridge for a while now, so I thought it was a good idea to use it up. It's really actually quite nice bacon. It's just I struggle over here because they cut all the rinds off, and it's like, well, where's the rind bit? I like a rind on me bacon. But anywho, chop it up into nice chunks, and you're gonna chuck it in the soup because it goes really. But bacon actually really enhances potato and leeks and oniony flavoury things. It really does. It just adds that little bit of something. But if you're a veggie and you don't want that, don't put it in. It's not that difficult, right? Just whatever. So yeah, I'm just getting it all in. And then after that, we're going to add in a couple more ingredients. Not much more. Less is more when it comes to soups, I find. But you want to have... So floating around in the back of my fridge were the last of the 2 white patty pan that I grew. These are oversized. I don't like them this size. The skin gets too tough. They're far better when they're really young and very about half that size. These have gone very hard on the outside. But so what I've decided that I'm going to do with these 2 is I'm going to grate them rather than chop them because they are quite tough. Yeah. Now honestly, I really actually don't mind grated veg in soups and sauces and stuff like that. It's a great way to hide them from the kids or fussy eaters in your household. It's a really easy, simple way for you not to have to do all the slicing and dicing and stuff like that. And it just works really well, I find. But for things like this, we're a little bit tough on the outside. They're going to be a lot better to go through the soup. And in general, those squash will then disintegrate into the soup. So no one will know they're there. And it's time for me to get a bit faster and on this because, you know, we're running out of time and soup's got to be on and Tunny's walking through the door for dinner and, you know, video's got to be out. So let's get on with it. Now once they've started sauteing for a bit and you've got things to this kind of nth degree, you're going to want to stir it up a bit just to make sure that nothing's sticking too much on the bottom. Because mine does run quite hot. I can my slow cooker, multi-cooker, whatever you want to call it, actually goes from very warm slow cook, well, a warm setting for a slow cooker to being able to deep fry chicken in it. So, you know, you want to be able to just make sure it doesn't stick. And next I'm going to chop in the carrots. I had a couple of manky ones left over from making the soup yesterday, so I'm just going to dice this and chuck it in, you know, because extra veg is extra veg, right? And it's also extra flavour, and we like carrot in things like this. I have got a couple of other videos where I've done bunget in soups, which is pretty similar, but this one has a little bit more of a set behind it rather than just chucking everything in. This is, I wanted it to be like a potato and leek with the bacon in it, but I had a couple of other veg and I always like to put a little bit of seasoning in there, so it's more like a, yeah, it is like a potato and leek onion type soup with bacon, but you've got the carrots and a couple of herbs in there as well. The point I want to make with this is that when we're cooking, when we're feeding our families, sometimes things don't go right, and sometimes we have to think on our feet. Now, it's not always fun to do that, and you don't always end up doing the things that you want to do. But if you know your basic seasonings, if you know your basic flavors of what goes together, you can throw together something very, very quickly, very, very cheaply, and using ingredients you'll probably already have in the house without too much hassle. Now, I've just added some parsley in there, fresh parsley, which was looking very, very sad, can I just say. And I'd be looking very sad too if I'd had, you know, a bag of potatoes sitting on me in the fridge. Same with the chives. It had a bottle of cream sitting on it. So, you know, they're looking very sad, so we're going to put them in the soup so that they don't feel like their life was cut short for no reason. See what I did there? Cut short. Okay, so we've got all our ingredients in, we've got all our herbs, we've got all our veg, we've got our bacon. We're going to give this a really, really good stir now because we're going to be adding the water. Now, I'm not going to add stock to this because, quite frankly, the flavours from this are going to add enough of their own stock. And I think putting stock in this would be a little bit, You could if you wanted to, if that's what you want to do, but personally I wouldn't. But that's just me. Also, the one other ingredient that I add in here is my very own veg bouillon powder, but you don't see that. I'll put a link in the cards above for you to find that if you want to make your own. So now we've got all that stirred up and it's ready to go. We're going to add a couple of litres of water, which I think is like a, you know, yeah, it's the full kettle. We're just putting the full kettle in there. And we're going to leave that on what would be high on slow cooker for, you know, a bit. I mean, this is probably hotter than the slow cooker. If it was on the slow cooker, I would probably put it in there for like 3 or 4 hours. It could do on the stove and you'd have it done in like half an hour, because this was done in like half an hour. Although slow cookers are amazing for if you're working and you need to put something on at the beginning of the day so you can walk in in the evening and it's all done for you, and that's a really great way of using them. Sometimes they take longer than they need to, and just using the stovetop can be just as effective, a lot quicker. Most soups can be done in like 30 to 40 minutes tops. You don't need to have them going all day long. In this one now, I'm just adding like what would be considered like a cup of cream. This is actually whipping cream. I'm supposed to be making butter with this, but it's what we have in the fridge and I'm gonna use it. So that's pretty much it. That was it. Honestly, that is honestly it. Okay, so there's 3 ways to serve this. Straight out of the pan like this, as I am having it tonight. Or you could thicken up the soup part if you wanted to, and leave it chunky by just adding a little bit of arrowroot or corn flour, whatever is suitable for you. I prefer arrowroot, and that's what I would probably use if I was going to do that. Or you could put the immersion blender in it and splits it and end up with like a pureed soup at this point, and it wouldn't be a problem. Or even just do like half of it and still have like a little bit of chunk, and the puree bit would thicken the soup up just a little bit quite naturally without adding any stuff. But there you go, there's our soup, our panic soup. So panic is over, dinner is served, and video is out for you guys to enjoy. Hope you really enjoyed it. If you did try it out, go and let me know in the comments below, or just let me know in the comments below if you saw this anyway, and I will see you guys again very, very soon. I love you guys heaps. Bye.